Good morning, good day, and good evening, everyone. My name is Grace. The name is Paul. I'll be presenting for HLT 43. Today, I'll be presenting on how Lago, one of Shakespeare's most complex villains, who uses Machiavellian tactics to manipulate and destroy others in Othello. I'll explore which deception, strategic thinking, and lack of morality makes him a perfect example of a Machiavellian villain or Machiavellian character in plays or stories that we see. Othello is one of Shakespeare's great tragedies. It tells the story of Othello, a respected general who secretly marries Desdemona. Their love should be strong, but Lago, Othello's ensign, began to plot against them. Through lies and manipulation, Lago turns Othello's trust into jealousy, which eventually leads to betrayal, violence, and tragedy of the characters in the play. This sets the stage for understanding Lago's role as a manipulative villain. Who was Machiavellian? Niccolo Machiavelli was an Italian political thinker from the Renaissance period. His most famous work, The Prince, explains how rulers can gain and keep power, often through manipulation and deception rather than morality. When we describe someone as Machiavellian, we mean they are cunning, strategic, and willing to deceive others to achieve their own goals. These ideas help us to understand Lago's behavior in Othello. Here for the slide 4 is the definition of Machiavellian. Machiavellian traits or Machiavellian describes the behavior of someone who seeks power through cunning, act, and manipulation. This includes the ability to control others, deceive without guilt, and think strategically to achieve their own personal goals. In literature, many villains show these traits, but Lago in Othello is one of the clearest examples. He uses all of these qualities to manipulate those around him and drive the story towards tragedy. Slide 5 is the introduction to Lago. Lago is Othello's trusted ensign, often called Honest Lago by other characters in the play. On the surface, he seems loyal and dependable, but in reality, he is secretly plotting against Othello and those around him. This double identity, loyal servant on the outside and manipulative schemer on the inside, makes him the perfect candidate for a Machiavellian villain. Understanding this contrast is the key to analyze his action throughout the play. In slide 6, Lago's motives. Lago's motives are complex and sometimes unclear, which makes him even more dangerous. One reason for his plotting is jealousy. He feels insulted when Cassio is being promoted instead of himself. He also suspects Othello of being involved with his wife, though this is never proven. Finally, Lago craves power and control and uses manipulation as the way to achieve it. These motives drive his action and explain why he becomes such a destructive force in the play. In slide 7, it's the manipulation of Rodrigo. Lago manipulates Rodrigo, a weak and love-sick character, by constantly promising that he will win Desdemona's love. But in reality, Lago is only using Rodrigo for his money, and there's a pawn in Lago's own scheme. This shows how Lago exploits valuable people. He takes advantage of Rodrigo's emotion and deception, a desperation, turning him into a tool for his own plans. It's a clear example of Machiavellian manipulation where personal gain comes before morality. Slide 8 is the manipulation of Cassio. Lago manipulates Casio by convincing him to drink too much alcohol, even though Casio admits that he cannot handle alcohol. Once Casio is drunk, Lago provokes a fight that ruins Casio's reputation and costs him his position as Othello's lieutenant. After creating the problem, Lago pretends to help Casio by suggesting he asks Desdemona to speak in his behalf. This clever trick not only damages Casio but also sets up the jealousy that will later consume Othello. Slide 9 is the manipulation of Othello, part 1. Lago begins to manipulate Othello by planting small seeds of doubt about Desdemona's loyalty. Instead of telling direct lies, he uses hints, pauses, and leading questions to make Othello suspicious. This slow and subtle approach is powerful because Othello starts to believe he is discovering the truth of his own. Lagos strategy, so manipulation can be more effective when it is indirect, making Othello's jealousy grow step by step and slowly. Now, the slide 10 here is the manipulation of Othello battle. Lagos strengthens Othello's jealousy by using false evidence. The most famous example is the handkerchief, a gift from Othello to Desdemona. Lago arranges for Cassio to have it, then convinces Othello that Desdemona gave it away as a proof of unfaithfulness. By twisting the symbol of love into supposed Lago completely controls Othello's thinking. At this point, Othello no longer questions Lago's words. He fully believes whatever lies Othello's Lago tells him, showing how manipulation can destroy trust and reason. In slide 11, issues of deception and appearance. Lago is often called honest Lago, which shows how completely deceive the other characters in the play. He hides his true intention behind the mask of loyalty and honesty. This creates a strong scheme of appearance versus reality. What people believe about Lago is very different from the truth. For the audience, this is dramatic irony. We know Lago's real intentions and plans, but the characters do not. Shakespeare used this irony to make Lago's manipulation even more powerful and disturbing. In slide 12, lack of morality. Okay, Lago shows a complete lack of morality through the play. His schemes directly caused the deaths of Desdemona, Emilia, Rodrigo, and even Othello himself. Machiavellian is that he feels no. What makes him truly Machiavellian is that he feels no guilt or compassion for the destruction he causes. His cruelty is deliberate and calculated, providing that he values power and control above human life. This absence of morality is one of the strongest reasons why Lago is seen as the perfect Machiavellian villain. For slide 13, the consequences of Lagos action. Lagos manipulation leads directly to the tragic ending of the play. Othello, once a respected general, is driven into jealousy and rage, which caused him to murder Desdemona, Emilia, Rodrigo, and eventually Othello himself also died as a result of Lagos' scheme. These consequences show how one person's Deception and cruelty can destroy many lives. Shakespeare uses this tragic to highlight the disruptive power of manipulation when it is combined with lack of morality. In slide 14, why is Lago a perfect Machiavellian villain? Lago brings together every trait that defines a Machiavellian villain. He manipulates others with skill, deceives without hesitation, thinks tragically to achieve his goals, and shows complete cruelty without remorse. His actions lead to betrayal, broken trust, and the destruction of innocent lives. Because he embodies all of these qualities, Lago stands as one of Shakespeare's most powerful examples of a Machiavellian character, someone who proves how dangerous power can be when it is used without morality. In conclusion, Lago demonstrates how Machiavellian tactics, manipulation, deception, and lack of morality can completely destroy trust, relationship, and lives. His action leads to Othello's downfall and the deaths of several characters, providing the devastating impact of power when it is used without ethics. Shakespeare's Othello reminds us that unchecked ambition and cruelty can turn loyalty into betrayal and love into tragedy. Lago remains one of literature's most powerful example of how manipulation can ruin everything when morality is absent.